get some bricks given out today. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna have them available, but we are. Good morning, everyone. We're gonna ask if you would like to sit down. We have chairs available. We're gonna get ready to get started. Huh? Okay. Huh. Yes, it is. It's a reunion for a lot of folks today. I guess I'll say Lincoln Heights Tigers are in the house. All right. I need to say that a little louder. Lincoln Heights Tigers in the house. Okay. I gotta represent y'all today. I'm not gonna cry today. I want to mess up my makeup. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We still have a few more seats available for anyone that wants to sit. We have one, two, three. Got about 4 or 5 seats if anyone wants to sit, because we do have a phenomenal agenda of speakers today. We're gonna do some history with you all before we get to the bottom of the line that we're all here this morning for. So before while I'm starting, so I just want to thank everyone that was able to come out this morning. It is bittersweet. I do want to make sure I say that it is quite bittersweet. I'm not gonna cry today because I was a little girl when all this came about, but I do have some siblings that did come, and so no matter if we went to the school or not, it's still our history. It's still our history, okay? So, and if we didn't go to school, we went to the Y. So we're gonna talk about that today also, okay? So I am Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey. I'm the mayor for the village of Lincoln Heights. I've been the mayor 6 years, and I'm truly blessed to have this position. I'm thankful for all my council members that put into me what needed to be done, and I always listen to them. And so it's not a I, it's a us. And so today it's about us and not no I's, okay? So I just want to thank you again for coming out. And I just want to say this one thing because I know I'm going to be talking throughout MC and I don't want y'all to get tired of hearing my voice. But I just want to say, even though today a piece of our history um, is going to be removed today, but the future shines bright in Lincoln Heights. All right. So we're going to start by having our Hamilton County Commissioner, President Alicia Reese.
Thank you, Mayor. Every time we come out here, it's sunshine. I'm gonna say that one more time because God is good. Every time we come to Lincoln Heights, it's sunshine. Let me just say, I want to introduce my colleague, uh, County Commissioner Stephanie Summerall Dumas is here with us. We've got some others I think that are on the program, but I didn't see her on the program, so I want to introduce my state senator, Catherine Ingram, who's here. And I think I think State Representative Cedric Denson will be saying something a little later. Let me just say that down at the county, Lincoln Heights is a top priority. We're excited to be here today, but we were here announcing a Wi-Fi grant of 150,000 for the first time in history. We were back here introducing our big community revitalization impact grant where we put money where places we haven't put money ever before. At Lincoln Heights, we announced almost $1 million for Lincoln Heights, and we are seeing some of that money, 184,000, that will be used today for the demolition in partnership with the Port Authority. And I want to give them a big round of applause. Just about 2 weeks ago, we were in our county commission meeting, and we were looking at what do we do with the rest of our ARPA money. And I want to give credit that the three commissioners, myself, Commissioner Dumas and Commissioner Driehaus. We voted to close the gap on the gun range. We're putting up over $20 million to finally get it done. Now, come on, we got to do some hallelujahs for that one, because I know we've been trying to get that for 70 years. And I see Mayor Finan is here. So we got the money now. So we closed the gap. And so today we're here about revitalization, because Lincoln Heights matters. And so the demolition of the building is not the demolition of the history. It's just the demolition of the building so we can build on the legacy and the history that came from this building and from these hallowed grounds. So we're excited to be here today again with good news, with sunshine, and with something that says that Lincoln Heights is on the move under our leadership of our great mayor. So I want to thank that. But I had to also acknowledge my teacher from high school that taught me to never forget where you come from. Never think you're too high, because you can also go low. But when you get in a position, make sure you help the people. And that's Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter. I just got to give her some credit. Thank you for teaching me, since we're at a school environment. And so very excited about it. I'm very excited about what Lincoln Heights is going to do. Councilmember Laverne Mitchell, who's going to give us the history of what is going on with this and what today means as part of the history. So excited about that. And then after this, y'all come on down to St. Monica, right down the street. We've got the 513 relief bus, the 100 stop. We've held 15,000 people, $100 million in rental assistance, and we've got a lot more. We're going to have free birth certificates that we're getting ready to launch. So we're doing it all. Today is Lincoln Heights Day in Hamilton County. God bless you. And I think I'm supposed to tell the next person, or you going to come and do it, madam? Let the mayor, because the mayor runs the show. Thank y'all so much. We're happy about this partnership in Hamilton County.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, President Commissioner Alicia Reese. And thank you also for Commissioner Dumas. I did want to say that Commissioner Driehaus was unable to come. She had an event. So she would be here in the midst of all of us. But we're going to go ahead and start with the beginning. Um, the Mr. Donald Darby, Lincoln Heights High School alumni.
Before she leaves, I want to acknowledge this is one of my students. We did good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I was sitting there and looking at the building, and I recall when Princeton, and which I'll talk about a little bit more later, was considering building a new high school. This is after I had retired. I went and spoke to the board about going in that direction. And I recall saying, the high school, well, that old girl has done a good job for us. This old girl did a good job for us. Okay. I'm going to probably share a few inside stories with you, and I promise I won't be long. For those of you who don't know, this school opened in 1959. It was the only high school Lincoln Heights has ever had. So you may wonder, well, where did the high school kids go? Since Lincoln Heights didn't have a high school, students went anywhere they wanted to. You've heard of Lachlan Wayne. You've heard of those championships, state championships. Those were Lincoln Heights kids, because a vast majority of the Lincoln Heights kids chose to go to Lachlan Wayne. Why? Because you can walk to school. It's less than a mile. And that worked out very, very well. And then the Board of Education in Lincoln Heights decided it was time for us to build our own high school. And in 1959, it opened. It's interesting that the same year, 1959, Princeton High School opened. Okay? Two different distinct school districts. Lincoln Heights High School was a very nurturing situation. Uh, the teachers here followed the tradition of the HBCUs. They taught you more than the academics. I can't remember the number of times I got pulled aside because I had a hat on. I can't remember the number of times, it was only one. Mr. Roach told me, go in the bathroom, get some paper towels, and get that mud off your shoes. You're going to be a gentleman here because we raised gentlemen. After graduating from Lincoln Heights, I went on to Xavier and I got my degree in education. I did my student teaching right here at Lincoln Heights because I only filed one application to teach. I had some other options, and I said that, well, if Princeton will hire me, I'll be able to follow the kids from Lincoln Heights. And if they had not hired me, I had some other options and I would have gone in a different direction. But it worked out. And it was a glorious experience. So I started teaching in 1970. And the significance of that is it's the year Lincoln Heights closed, the 69-70 school year. So the students began attending Princeton High School. However, because of the numbers, the freshman class stayed here. All right. But that didn't work out. So Dr. Lucas, who was the superintendent, being assisted by Dr. Starr, who had been the principal of Lincoln Heights High School, made the determination that instead of phasing these classes out, we're going to put these kids together next year. Those were exciting times. And I look at the faces and I see many of you who were part of that grand experiment. It really was a grand experiment. But folks, it worked out. One day, Dr. Holloway, our superintendent, Dr. Willis Holloway, and this is in 1958, he gathered, I'm sorry, that's not correct. I'm getting my dates mixed up. In 1970, early 1970, he gathered the staff in the library. He said, folks, I have just come from Columbus. The deal is done. Next year, there will be no Lincoln Heights High School. We're going to merge with Princeton. Now, there's one fact I want to mention here, and I remember when Dr. Holloway stated this to us. He said, we will not go into this situation as paupers because the state has determined that since Princeton will be merging with Lincoln Heights, surrounding districts will contribute a part of their state funding to this project. So when Lincoln Heights went into Princeton, they raised the per pupil expenditure for the entire Princeton district. So we went in proud and we went in with money, and keep that in mind. This building has had several different uses educationally. High school, then it was a freshman building, Princeton Valley East. Some of you remember that, some of you may have attended here. And then later on, it became the YMCA, a number of uses here. But the thing about it that I think sticks out, it was a community center. This was the only place, other than a few churches, where you could have a big gathering of people. And it was well used. It was almost 24/7. because this is where we came together to deal with different issues that came about. So we gather here today, and this old girl has to come down. And I wish the council, city council, all the best on determining what uses will be made of this land. And I want to close by reciting the alma mater. I would sing, but somebody back there might have some rotten tomatoes, and I don't want them firing at me. I may get a couple of words wrong because I couldn't find a copy of it, but this is what I remember. And this was written by Mr. Roach. Hail, all hail, our alma mater. Praise we to thee we sing. May thy loyal sons and daughters songs of tribute bring. Lincoln Heights High School will live for life. I changed that word. Lincoln Heights High School will live for life, standing as a beacon light. Lead us on, prepared contenders for the truth and right. Oh, girl, you've been good to us. We want to thank you. And although you're an inanimate building, you brought life to this community. Go Tigers.
Thank you, Mr. Darby, for those heartfelt words. I know that probably touched everybody here. Well, I'm gonna keep it together. So we're gonna have our former mayor and Lincoln Heights Council member Laverne Mitchell come speak.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. My task today is to tell you I can't keep it together. And I didn't even go here. My brother did, but I didn't. But as the mayor said, it doesn't matter whether you went here or not. It was in the community. And this is the soul. Any school is the soul and the future of the community. But I'm here to tell you how sacred this building was, this space was in its prime, and the legacy it holds. When the school districts merged and the building ceased to operate as Lincoln Heights High School, it still remained occupied. You know, on the news, one of the news said, "Oh, it's been vacant since it closed." No, has not been vacant. It wasn't vacated until um, 2004. The building has always remained purposeful. Education and nurturing inside did not stop. Princeton ninth grade classes, as Mr. Darby indicated, were held here for a while, the GED and ABE classes. Then Seven Hills Neighborhood House, the Senior Center, and the YMCA moved in. Eventually, the leaders acquired the building from Princeton sometime, I think, during the late 1980s and early 1990s. It was renamed the Smith Flowers Civic Center, honoring Reverend Robert Flowers, who served as president of council when Lincoln Heights became a city, and for Walter Smith, who was president of council and the fire chief, and who led the charge to raise money to renovate the high school building, or what was called the Smith Flowers Civic Center. The Smith Flowers Civic Center became the hub, as it always was, became more of a hub. And I have to say that thanks to the efforts of Senator Richard Finan at the time, president of the General Assembly, he gathered us and Yvonne Kovac, our economic development coordinator. He gathered some city leaders into his office in Sharonville, was it Sharonville mayor, and said he was going to help us. He was going to see to it that that state agencies were put into the building to keep it open. Thank you, Senator Finer. These agencies included MRDD, Head Start, Mental Health Services East, Granny's Love, and UC's Project Smart program. All leased space that brought revenue to the village of Lincoln Heights. Again, thank you, Senator Fine. These agencies, plus the YMCA and Seven Hills Neighborhood House, continue to provide services not only to Lincoln Heights, but the surrounding communities. Everybody thinks it's just Lincoln Heights. We service everybody, and we still do that today. We are grateful to them, to the late Dr. Richard Denoyer, former superintendent of Princeton School District, the GE Elephants, the Lincoln Heights Valley Boosters, and the countless volunteers who poured their talents, energy, and love into the old high school, if you want to call it that, the YMCA, if you want to call it that, or the Smith Flowers Civic Center. The village has gone through a lot trying to maintain the building. At some point, our finances got low and we could not continue to upkeep it. And the agencies that were there began to pull out. The YMCA nurtured a lot of folks, the swimming pool, the Girl Scouts that were there, the midnight basketball program that was there. You think about George Wilson, you think about Steve Sanders, Ardella Mincy, Chris Nelms, all those individuals who have gone on to greater glory doing things, but they started here, the YMCA in Lincoln Heights. There have been a lot of conversation. Why are you tearing it down? Why are you tearing it down? Um, sometimes you have to have change and you want something better. You want something better. So thank you, Mr. Darby, for giving us confidence and pushing us on because the village council has gone through a lot with individuals who are against closing it or tearing it down. But you know what? You got to tear down to build something new. Offer something else. You don't want your dreams because your dreams and your memories are here and they're here. So let's start some new memories for the kids who walk past here. The building is deteriorating. Your your memories will never deteriorate. They will be there as long as you talk about Lincoln Heights Tigers. Everybody got the what? Shoe bop they do? Say it. Everybody got the shoe bop they do. I love that when I used to come and watch my brother play basketball here. Okay? So we have the spirit. And it's time for us to give the spirit back to the soul of this space. It's the space, not the building. We want to bring something else for the future of Lincoln Heights. So, to all those individuals and all the alumni, all of you have helped sustain the community after the devastating loss of Lincoln Heights High School, Lincoln Heights School District. The demolition of this structure doesn't erase your memories or the successes. Darby, Linda, and so many of you out here, we know that without Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Cincinnati, everywhere we go, like you say, the HBCUs, they have made a difference in this world because of Lincoln Heights. The demolition of this structure is actually going to allow us to re envision how this space can create awesome new memories and sustain our community's future like you once did. Thank you.
And so, thank you so much, Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell. So it is very bittersweet for everybody that's here as council members. And before I go on to the state senator, I want to thank each and one of my council members that are here. Councilman Daniels, if you can please stand, he's here. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter. And Miss Laverne. I know the Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson would be here, but right now she's coming back from being out of the country. So, but she gives her blessings to each and every one of you, and we want to thank you all, Lincoln Heights, for giving us the vision, the push. Sometimes y'all very hard, but we like that criticism because it makes us stronger. We, you know, we do. It does make us stronger and it makes us put you guys first because we always say nothing but the best for Lincoln Heights. And we take that to heart, each and every one of us on council. And sometimes we agree to disagree, but we always put Lincoln Heights residents first. And I just wanted to say that. And so coming next will be our Ohio State Senator, Catherine Ingram.
Thank you, Mayor. I would have been here anyway. I didn't realize I actually am not on the program. You were right, Commissioner Reese. But I'm here because I went from the upper sub to the lower sub and all around Lincoln Heights. Went to Bird Street Baptist before it was Lincoln Heights Baptist. And we lived on the Evendale side, though. So I remember when both schools were built, I was young. But of course, the highway was never as wide as it was about the fourth of the width that it is now. Because we came and went down Lachlan Road to the penny candy store and did everything down from there to Lincoln Heights to Lachlan to Wyoming. And that was important. Went to church right down on Lindy Street, True Holiness, anybody who remembers. I did go to church. Uh, but I used to sneak out too and go to the dance at the high school. Wasn't supposed to be there, but my mama didn't start looking for me till late. I was glad when they got really shouting. Bobby, don't look at me like you don't know the difference. Janice. Uh, but I remember when the last class graduated because that was 70, and 70 was the year I graduated. So all my friends that were here that graduated in 70, it was kind of like, oh my God, this is it's so sad what's going to happen. Oh, but it'll be better because we're going to Princeton. It'll be a good school. We're going to be. But every time I drove past here, I remembered all the good times, the championships, the basketball player. Hey, look, where's Greg? Greg's gone. Somebody told me that he passed on. Uh, but that was a big deal. So it is bittersweet to be here today. Bitter because it seems like you're taking away something from the past, but sweet because you're taking away something from the past. So we need to begin anew. I'm glad that the demolition dollars came down from the state, and whatever we can do, we will do. And as Senator Finan said, that they tried to do this back in the 80s. We'll try to make sure that those dollars are there, and working with the commissioner and making sure that Lincoln Heights is Lincoln Heights, not just an eyesore. I'll say this: I was glad when they tore down the senior building on the corner there. Wasn't real sure what was going on at that point, but it's interesting to make sure that Lincoln Heights is still Lincoln Heights, has a purpose for its people, and that we understand it's not just um, a stop on the way. It is a stop, a destination, and we have to make sure we make it that. So I'm glad to be here today. Thank you for allowing me to be on the program. And even though I didn't go to school here, I went to Evendale, and then I went to Prince. Well, by the time we moved, I ain't gonna tell you where I went to school. It wasn't it wasn't Withrow. It was I graduated from Woodward. So no, it wasn't where y'all went. Stop filming so I can say something. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I also did want to thank State Representative Cedric Denson. He was unable to make it, but he does give his blessings to the village of Lincoln Heights. I did want to point that out as well. And also, I believe Councilwoman Baber was unable to come today. She's a busy, busy lady working. So we want to thank her also for her leadership on council and the things that she does to make the village move forward as well, along with our Public Works Director, Chris Williams. He's here and he's going to be helping everyone get these bricks. I wanted to make sure that I announced that out. So we thought it was important for us, even though the building was coming down, to give a brick back. And, some people was like, well, why you gonna, don't sell the bricks? We was like, no, no, no. It's already bittersweet. And I thought that was pretty much to do something like that. So I thank Miss Jeter because I got you. I thank Miss Jeter because she was determined that this was going to happen with these bricks. And so it was discussion on how many bricks. And we said, we want 500 bricks. She said, we want 500 bricks. And I was like, got it. So Aurora, y'all know we want 500 bricks. So we're going to move on to Philip Denning with the Port Authority. Who's next?
Good morning. Holy mackerel. Well, I knew I was coming back to Lincoln Heights this morning, but I didn't realize I was coming to class, to be honest. There's a whole lot of wisdom and history and experience that's been speaking before me, so I'm not here to rival that. But I do want to talk a little bit about the port, about the leadership that the village of Lincoln Heights has shown, and what that has meant for a partnership with the port. As a lot of people here probably know, every day the port is here. In Hamilton County, we're building homes, we're revitalizing business districts and making forgotten sites more attractive again. Our job really at the end of the day is to make real estate work for everyone in Hamilton County. And of course, that includes our friends in Lincoln Heights. So this actually started way back in 2019. And we began a collaboration, Deborah Robb, with the village to develop new construction homes here in Lincoln Heights. We followed Lincoln Heights' lead with their land use plan and their market study. And so development began, and hopefully you've been by Jackson and Adams Streets where the 4 completed homes are finished. We have 8 more homes that are underway or planned. So keep on driving by and make sure you're spreading the word for anybody who's interested in buying a house over to Deborah Robb. But after that collaboration began, we entered into a collaboration, the port and Lincoln Heights, in February of 2022 to really put all of the land bank tools at the disposal of the village for a wide variety of different vacant lots. And so I think what's really exciting about that's going to pave the way for us to continue to get funding and subsidy to build more homes again and again here in Lincoln Heights. We also have partnered on other priorities of the village, as the mayor talked, the Smart Village, Wi-Fi grant, and then code remediation, home repair. So those are really exciting activities too. And of course, the reason we're here today, yet another partnership between the port and the village. Really with recommendation from the village, we applied for and received funding from the Ohio Department of Development's Building, Demolition, and Site Revitalization Program. This was a program that was created by the state legislature in 2021 and then again in 2023 to support brownfield and demolition projects But you don't just get the money, you have to have all the diligence done. And so, working with the village, we applied for and received those funds. And of course, the role of Hamilton County is very important. You can't just apply and get funds, you have to have match funding. And so, Hamilton County came through in a big way and made sure that those funds were available. So, as I've kind of talked a little bit, none of this happens without a lot of financial support. And this work, the work over on Jackson and Adams, it really is the perfect alignment of the port, the village, the county, and the state to put resources available to really make economic change in the village. So there's been repeated support. Some numbers here. There's been repeated support from Hamilton County, 3 rounds of $300,000 grants in county home funds to make those new construction homes available. $20,000 from Union Savings Bank and Guardian Savings Bank to complete phase one. $20,000 from the PNC Foundation for phase two. $200,000 in the Hamilton County ARPA funds that were awarded through CDF, also for phase two. And of course, behind us, almost $600,000 from the Ohio Department of Development, and almost $200,000 from Hamilton County Commissioners. So with all that, I mean, the grant funding continues. We're here for good. I think it's exciting to be here for the demolition. It's really emotional to understand the history of what this building has meant on both sides, and the bittersweet is the best word for it. But really, even more excited that we have built an economic engine here of new construction and redevelopment that we're putting to work over on Jackson and Adams, and we can do it here too. So thank you for having us at the port. Thank you for the partnership to the village, and we're looking forward to seeing it happen. Thank you.
Okay, so before we get to the wrecking crew, I'm glad Mr. Denning did mention about economic development. So our economic development chair, Councilwoman Key, would love you all to come to the economic development committee meetings. They are the first meeting of the month, the first Monday at 6:30. Right after our law committee. I know her auntie is here in the audience, so we want to encourage you all, our residents and former residents, to come to the Economic Development Committee. The members would like to get your insight on what you would like to have here. We got a land use study that has just finished rolling out, and so we have plans, but we want to always include the residents. So it's very, very important that you all come out to the Economic Development Committee, and our chairwoman again is Councilwoman Tanya Key. So please come out. Next is Michelle O'Rourke from the O'Rourke Wrecking Company. And that ends everything after that. She will take over now.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute honor to stand before you to be a part of a project that's going to make a huge impact for this community. And you can feel the love and compassion and excitement. So I know greater things are coming your way. It's with sincere appreciation to the village of Lincoln Heights and the port for trusting our team to safely remove this old girl. So with that, asbestos abatement is completed. Demolition is going to commence today. It'll be about 2 weeks to get her on the ground, and then another 4 weeks for complete site removal. So congratulations to the village of Lincoln Heights, the port, and all the civic leaders that came out today to clear the way for bigger and brighter things. So in our business, groundbreaking ceremonies typically have shovels. We have to bring something a little bigger. So as a community, let's take that first bite out of this old girl and preserve those memories that brought us here together today. Thank you.
Hey, man,